All right, folks. So, picking up where we left off for 111, this gets into Egypt in the Middle Kingdom. You have that intermediate period when we're going to see the rise of some of the nobles, some independent governors, and you're going to see a breaking away of the lower kingdom of Egypt in itself. And what will happen is this: you see the break here. Okay, the break of close to 500 years between the Middle Kingdom and the Old Kingdom itself. We're going to see a continuation of pharaohs. We're going to see a continuation of dynasties along the way. And what will happen is we're going to see Mentuhotep, or Mentuhotep is going to come in the second, and he is going to conquer Lower Egypt. He's going to reunite Egypt in itself. And part of this process is going to be that he is going to appeal to the people in such a way that we're going to be looking at civic projects, or we're going to be looking at irrigation. We're going to be looking at things that will benefit the people rather than just pyramids that are benefiting the pharaohs, or things that are just benefiting the temple in itself. And so it's going to allow groundswell to go ahead and build up behind the face of the pharaoh itself and reestablish this. And that will be important. But the other thing that's being reestablished at this point also is we're going to reestablish the basis of the religion of the Egyptians. And what will happen is over time, the pharaoh is going to have to share power with the religion itself. The pharaoh won't play second fiddle, but what we do is share power with the priests. This is decidedly different than the pyramid building of the first new kingdom, the old kingdom. We are going to look at some minor periods, but we're going to look at mortuary complexes. We're going to be looking at temples. We're going to be looking, if you look here at the picture, it shows where we're building against some pre-established structures along the way. We're also looking at irrigation projects and a few other things. What's important about this is religion takes a bigger pace. You see the growth of the religion and the increasing power of the priests. And you'll see something popping about this time called Mortuary Texts, or Books of the Dead. With the spike in religious belief and a spike in the power of the priests themselves, what's saying is the Book of the Dead pops in here, and it's about easing the passage of the soul, about easing the passage of the call into the afterlife. As I pointed out to a couple of classes, at this point, when you die, you're going to go before the God of the dead, and the God of the dead is going to weigh your heart, literally weigh your heart against a feather on a scale. And if your heart is too heavy, if it's heavier than the feather, well, then boom, you're going to be consumed on the spot by a demon. On the other half, if your heart is indeed lighter than the feather, then you can go ahead and proceed across the river into the promised land and enjoy the afterlife. For the pharaohs, that's the purpose of their whole, whether it be a pyramid or something else along that line, is what they're doing is they're taking what was given to them in life and they're able to enjoy it in the afterlife, because their ka can go out amongst the people. It can go out and enjoy life. What's going to happen is as we get closer to the end of the Middle Kingdom, the pharaohs are going to start to lose power. We're going to have the growth in the temple, the growth of the priests, but also we're going to see more militant nobles coming up. We're going to see a division of the power. We're going to see a spreading out of trade in a militaristic fashion by the Egyptians, and as such, that's going to leave them open. This trade is going to leave them open for invasion. So what's going to happen is as we get closer to the end of the Middle Kingdom, we're going to see at the introduction of a group called the Hixos. And the Hixos are, again, we're coming from a bit up north. They're coming up from around Anatolia and some other places, not too far in some cases from the Hittites, but the Hixos are going to be more organized. They're going to have better weaponry. They're going to have better tactics. They're going to be better organized. They're going to come in and conquer. Now, there is some discussion. There's some discussion about whether they invade or whether they're already there and they just go ahead and take charge because the pharaohs are losing power. what we do know is this: the Hixos are going to be in charge, and they're going to expand trade. They're going to expand trade to Israel. They're going to invite in the Hebrew peoples. They're going to invite in people from Mesopotamia. They're going to invite in an awful lot of people at this particular point. And what will happen is the Hyksos are in power. Well, listen, if you're going to come in and conquer and take power, you should come in and conquer, take power, and leave. Instead, they decide to rule, and in ruling, what will happen is the Egyptians will learn to use their elements. They will learn to use their tactics. They'll learn to use their weaponry, and eventually they will displace the Hyksos. They will go ahead and unite underneath a new pharaoh. Because why the Hyksos are in charge? We're looking at the second intermediate period. Well, when Hyksos are in charge during the second intermediate period, we expand rule of the Hyksos, but then they're going to be driven out. And when they're driven out, we're going to have a brand new pharaoh. And that brand new pharaoh is going to change quite a few things along the way. And so what I want to do is I want to talk real quick about the new kingdom. Because once the pharaohs take charge, that's what it is the new kingdom. And the thing about the new kingdom is this: we know an awful lot about the new kingdom, because that's where we get a lot of our biblical references. That's where we get a lot of the appearances of Ramses and Moses and those kind of folks.